You want to be able to surprise a viewer by letting go of something, especially something great.
We were forced basically from being the very, very junior writers to being running a TV show.
Hi, I'm Felix from Felix Film Reviews, and I'm really happy to talk to you today. Industry is insane. I love the show. I absolutely love it. You have such an amazingly talented cast. How have the dynamics changed in the last couple of years while working with everyone? And how do you let go emotionally of brilliant characters like Gus or my beloved Rob?
Look, I mean, the journey of the people in front of and behind the camera in the show kind of mirrors the journey of the characters. I mean, they've come into the world with very little experience. It was a lot of their first jobs. It was mine and Konrad's first job. We were kind of in deers in the headlights when we came into the production of industry. And we've all learned together. We've learned to listen to each other more. We've learned to collaborate more. I would love to say that they're all awful and they're all have beastly egos and have become too big for their boots. But it's just the complete opposite of that. They're so egoless as actors, performers. They're so brave in the way they perform. They really trust us and they trust the show. And hopefully they trust that we're going to get the best performance out of them now that we're directing the show as well. But yeah, it's been a joy to watch them grow. I mean, we really lean on those performers to make the show good. Season 1, the show really, it's really stood up because of the performances, and it's been our writing that's had to catch up to those actors. And yeah, they're just brilliant, and it's been really satisfying to see them grow.
Getting rid of is a bit of a crude way of saying it. Losing, yeah, it's not. Sometimes you feel like organically actors and characters end. They have a sort of lifespan in the show. Like Gus and Robert both, in some ways, had mirroring journeys in the sense that like they were natural exit points, especially for Rob, because he had a kind of redemption story. And me and Mickey always joke that anyone whose soul's redeemed in the show doesn't really belong in the universe anymore. And I also think it's just a sign of confident shows and storytelling. You want to be able to surprise a viewer by letting go of something, especially something great. You know, they're both obviously great, talented actors who've gone on to be in great things and will continue to be in great things. But it's surprising for a show to take one of those characters off the chessboard and then replace them with, there's real estate then for other new characters to grow as well. So it keeps the whole thing feeling fresh.
Absolutely. This show is bonkers and would only work on HBO.
Yeah.
Now, with all the crazy deals made by these rich people and huge sums of money being moved around, do you find any similarities between the financial industry and the entertainment industry?
It's funny because in season 1, I think a lot of the reason, I mean, actually internally at HBO in Hollywood, I think there was a real, I don't know, the show resonated with people because even though it was set in a very esoteric world and it was a world that lots of people didn't understand, i.e., finance, there were some similarities between being a junior in the financial services industry and being a junior in Hollywood. I think it's still a place where it feels a little bit like the Wild West sometimes, and there are definitely hierarchical issues in terms of power, and like everything feels very transactional, and it did feel like a bit of a reflection of that. But I don't know, like. Again, this is going to be a really boring answer because I think our experience of being in Hollywood is such a sort of atypical one. We came in at the bottom, and even though we worked hard we did a lot of different things before we got to industry. We were forced basically from being the very, very junior writers to being running a TV show. So we never really saw the rise of it. But I feel like it has the rise of that kind of rise. But I do feel like. It has been resonance for people who have been who have seen both industries.
I think finance in a way is more honest than Hollywood because Hollywood hides the capitalist impulse behind the artistic impulse. So I feel like maybe in a way, you sort of see what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're both driven by exactly the same instinct, but one has the sheen of art covering it.
The show has garnered an incredibly loyal fan base, and I think it's getting more popular every season. Do you have a number in mind for how many seasons industry you would love to see for these characters?
We do, but I think we're not ready to say what it is.
That's okay. It's okay. No worries.
That's
no worries.
Okay.
In March, Peaky Blinders is getting a movie. Game of Thrones supposedly is getting a movie that's planned. Should industry get some sort of movie adaptation?
I don't know. Sign of a movie on HBO is normally a sign that you've been soft cancelled. so hopefully not. I mean, what I'm going to say is a contradiction in terms, but because we're really proud of the fact that we keep to the idea of episodic storytelling, so like 8 really distinct hours. But that being said, we also kind of like the fact that every hour has a kind of different, distinct tone, and has, you know, we try and make it with the intensity and the art craft of a feature film. I mean, that's what, especially if you go back, you know, next week episode 2 comes out of season 4, which is a very distinct thing. I think very filmic. I know Mickey feels the same way. So we sort of feel like we get to play. We never think we're making stuff for the small screen. So like from a writing point of view, we adhere to those rules, but then we always think about trying to make the most cinematic and grand version of the show that we can possibly make.
Awesome. Can't wait for everyone to see it. That's my time.
Thank you, Felix.
Thank you for your time.
Cheers.
Love the
Nice.
show.
Yeah,
Really
thank
love the
you.
show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.